Hey guys, Sunny here, and if you're new to my channel, thank you for clicking and welcome to my channel. If you're a returning viewer, then welcome back to my channel. And the first thing you might be asking is, what the fuck is wrong with your face, Sunny? Well, I'll tell you what's wrong with my face. So yesterday I went to see a dermatologist and they gave me one of these like charcoal cleanses on my face, and it makes like all the stuff underneath my face, the goop, rise to the surface, right? And then when it rises to the surface, it will cause my skin to start peeling. And basically, I'm not supposed to go to the gym today. I'm not supposed to shave and I'm not supposed to sweat. But the dermatologist said I should not excessively sweat. Keyword excessive. So even if I sweat a little bit, I should be fine. So to help me with that, I have these box of tissues here. And what I'm gonna do is, if I feel like I'm sweating too much, I'm just gonna pat myself on the face a little bit with these tissues. Hopefully that controls my sweating or regulates my sweating. But I'm someone who doesn't even sweat that much, so I don't think it's a big deal. I have a heavy day today, not a volume day. So I usually sweat more on volume sets, very high reps, a lot of sets. That's usually when I sweat, not when I go for a heavy low rep set. So I'm just gaslighting myself into thinking that it's not gonna be a big problem, right? And it's like this day is something I've been waiting for the last 8 weeks, which is 2 months. And I'll be damned if some skincare routine is going to take that away from me. So I'm going to go to the gym, and next week while my skin's peeling, I'll probably not go to the gym. But today I'm just going to go to the gym because it's a monumental session for me. So hopefully I hit all my PRs, and I'll see you guys in the car. So for pre-workout today, it finally came. I chose 110%, specifically the cherry grenade flavor, I think. And so each scoop has like 250 milligrams of caffeine. I put in around 3/4 of a scoop because I don't need that much caffeine, but I think that's more than enough for me to feel hyped up, ready to explode these PRs. So speaking of PRs, what I'm planning on hitting is 418 for 4 tempo squat, which will be a huge PR for me, which I think I have, honestly. 352 for 4 bench, upwards of 363 bench, which I also think I have. And I don't know if I'll hit the 363 for 4 because my left shoulder has been bugging me quite a bit this past week, but we'll see. And then for deadlift, I definitely think I can hit 530 for 2, which is crazy. But if I'm feeling extra good, I might go for 551 for 2, which is crazy, like even crazier. Because my best is 518, which I hit 2 years ago at a meet, and I haven't been able to top that ever since because of various injuries. But today might be the day that I hit these PRs. So I'm gonna hype myself up, pray a little bit, pray that my skin doesn't get fucked up from today, and yes, gym time.
Oh, the height's not changed. Oh, wait.
What's up, guys? Just finished up with my gym session, and honestly, I'm really happy of what I did today. First of all, my skin looks a little worse, but it's just because the peeling is about to happen. Probably starting tomorrow or Monday. But regardless, it was fine. I don't sweat that much, which is what I suspected, you know? But anyways, to my lifts, squat I was really happy with. It was honestly easier than I thought it was gonna be because my best previous was 418 for 3 with sleeves, not tempo, which was more than 2 years ago actually, my rep PR. So today I just did sleeveless tempo for 4, which is a huge PR, and it was like RP 9, I would say. And then for bench, honestly, I was scared. My shoulder, honestly, I was kind of tweaking because my shoulder was hurting all week, but when I did 330, which was my last warm-up before I went into the 363, it felt fine. So I was like, a little bit of pain, but manageable. So I was like, I got this, you know? And the guy who benched before me was doing 363 as well. And I was too lazy to take off the 2.5 kg plate. So I was like, you know what, like, give it to me, right? So I did it, and honestly, I'm very surprised that I got the 4th rep because the 3rd rep felt like a max. The 3rd rep, if you look back, it was super slow compared to my first 2. At least that's what it felt like, and so I'm very glad I got that 4th rep. Now, I will say though, I don't know if I really want to count that 4th rep because my ass came up a little bit, which I hate. I hate when that happens. It usually doesn't happen, but I guess that load was maximal enough that my butt came up a little bit. So for next block, I'm going to do triples, sets of 3, hoping I can hit 3 reds for 3 at the end of the block, which would be great. That'd be huge, actually, because 3 reds is 6 pounds under my all-time best bench. So I'm basically back. And then for deadlifts, that was okay. Actually, that was great. I was going for 2, as you can see, but I lost the second on grip. But it was just one of those sets that all the stars needed to align, you know? So I could feel on my first rep, I fell a little forward. And that usually makes it really difficult off the ground because I don't have that tightness. I'm pitched forward a little bit. And it's like when you're going for a max double, forget max, like all-time PR and max double, that cannot happen, right? That can't happen, or else there's a very low chance you'll even get that all-time PR, let alone the double. So I'm actually very happy that I grinded out that first rep, which could have been a lot easier if I didn't fuck up my setup. Also, the second rep, I almost had it. I guess the strength really just wasn't there, but not bad after 2 years of being in a rut. So next block, I actually have singles, and I'm hoping that I can hit 250 kilos, which is 550 pounds. In 8 weeks, I think I can actually pull myself together and get that shit, you know? And then for squats, I'm gonna hit the A7 rigor mortis knee sleeves, doing triples next block, removing the tempo, and we'll see what I can triple with new knee sleeves, you know? So that will be really exciting. That's probably what I'm looking forward to most. My goal this year is a 500-pound squat, which has evaded me for a very long time, and I think now is the time to do it. So yeah, those are my future plans. Catch you guys back at home.
Hey guys, I hope you guys can hear me. My mic ran out of battery, so I don't have a mic with me, but I'm back home. And I just want to give a little encouragement to all the injured people out there who are lifting and give them a little bit of encouragement and tips on how to stay mentally sane when you're going through an injury and just for your physical health, right? My first tip is to broaden your horizons. And what I mean by this is if you are someone whose entire life kind of revolves around lifting, then that's the only place that you get your joy from, aka me during college, you are going to feel devastated when that goes wrong, aka an injury, because you are putting all your eggs in one basket. You are measuring your worth from one thing, and when that thing goes to shit, which it could, which is probably the reason you're watching this, it is gonna take a huge hit on you mentally. And the thing that I'm trying to do with my life and broaden my horizons is learn the skill of YouTube, which is what I'm doing right now. Recording myself, editing videos, creating a brand on YouTube. That's something that I can look forward to outside of powerlifting, right? Rather than just only hitting PRs and getting all my energy and all my happiness from the gym. And so by doing that, that goes wrong, I still got other things to lean on. And so that is my first tip. My second tip is to draw inspiration from people who have it worse than you. And what I mean by this is, if you're injured, think about someone who suffered a worse injury. For me, my go-to example is one of my friends, Yanni Manasaridis. So he started LCB, Lake County Barbell, which is the strongest gym in Illinois. Literally, there are freaks that go there, like people who have strength that I can't even comprehend. They all go to LCB. And Yanni, a couple years ago, suffered this quad injury where his quad tore off of his bone, which is really scary and graphic, right? He was in a wheelchair for months, had to get surgery, of course. Probably was told that he could never lift again, you know? And he's back to lifting. He's literally like at 500 plus squat again, 600 plus, I think 700 deadlift. And he's like going strong, you know? And I just think he probably looks at me and thinks, oh, I wish I had what Sonny had. Right? I wish all I had to suffer from was just a few hip injuries, like a glute tendonitis pain, which to me, it seems like my pain is just a paper cut compared to what Yanni had went through. And then the way I see it is there's a race, right? And we're all trying to get healthy, trying to get PRs. And it's like, who am I to let Yanni surpass me in the journey to getting healthy when he started at such a low point, much lower than me, you know? And this is not to throw any shade to Yanni, like obviously I support him. Every gym thing he does is very impressive to me, and I want him to be healthy as fast as possible, right? If he isn't already. And so it's more like just to tell me to stop being a fucking pussy, because there are people out there who literally had to get surgery. I never had to get surgery. I have the luxury of never having to have gotten a surgery, and I'm out here bitching about my injuries when all these other people, they are told that they can never lift again. And another thing on the flip side is try not to compare yourself with people who have it better than you. So don't look at people who progress week to week, month to month because they're injury free, because that will make you feel like shit about yourself. Especially when you were stronger than someone and you see them pass you up because you've been stagnant due to injury and they haven't been. Don't focus on that stuff, because that will only cause you negativity when you need positivity in your life. When you're injured, positivity and optimism is the only thing that you can rely on, because what else do you have? You're literally in pain, squatting weight that is like 25% of your max, right? And you're like, fuck. But you can't let that eat at you, you know? You have to see the light at the end of the tunnel. And it's easy to see that when you focus on those who are farther behind you in the journey, because you see them work hard and that motivates you. Now, the third tip I want to give you is, and this should be pretty obvious, is to work smart. Too many people I see probably are pushing themselves too much and spreading themselves way too thin, acting like they're 100% healthy when they're not. And I'm not just talking about, oh, I'm just gonna take 100 pounds off my squat, 100 pounds off my bench, you know, start from there. That is a good way, but that might not be enough depending on who you are. I kind of fell into this trap because I was like, oh, I'm hurt, I'll start at like 225 squat, right? 135 bench, 225 deadlift, but I'll keep everything else the same, and that's where you might be screwing up. Because, for example, if you have a hip injury, which I've had, it doesn't just affect your squat and deadlift. You can go light on those, and that's great, but you also need to pull back on probably leg press, hack squat, Bulgarian split squat, things like that. Or maybe just don't do them at all if it causes you too much pain. Don't just apply it to your compound heavy lifts. If you need to pull back on whatever you need to pull back on. Another way is to just assess the weights you're taking, right? So for me, I'll use myself as another example, and my PT actually, he helped me with this. Just the way I was programming myself, I was doing 4-week blocks. So every 4 weeks, I would hit something heavy, hit a deload, and then go back every 4 weeks, right? The thing about 4-week blocks is it forces you to make bigger jumps because you have less time to get to that top end, right? I was not ready for that. My body was not ready. I wasn't ready to go from 385 to like 430 to 474 to 500. Even though, okay, ironically, I did come out of that block very safe. Thank God for that. But that was not smart. So I realized the smarter approach is probably to extend my blocks. And this is what my PT recommended. And only make 10 to 20 pound jumps per week and hit something at the end of every 8 weeks, which was today. That worked great. I was basically pain-free the entire block, or as pain-free as I'll ever be the entire block. And that led to my success at the end.
And I get it, like 4 week versus 8 week, it's obviously more fun to do 4 weeks because you're going for something heavy every 4 weeks rather than 8 weeks. But biggest thing with injury is patience, and patience does pay off. My last tip is to be religious with your rehab. It's easier said than done. Personally, what I do is I have a rehab routine. Let me know if you guys want to see that in the comments below. I have a rehab routine that I do 3 times a day. And so that will be 1 time before I work out, 1 time after I work out, and 1 time before I go to bed. So those 3 times, I set that time aside to do my rehab. And it only takes me like 10 minutes, so it's not even that big of a time commitment. It's just boring as fuck because who wants to do that shit, right? So stay on top of your rehab. And outside of rehab, I highly recommend especially if you have a lower body injury, lower back, lower body injury, take a lot of walks. Try to get at least 5,000 steps a day if you can't get that 10,000. That's kind of what I aim for because 10,000 steps a day is a little bit difficult for me. So I try to aim for 5,000 and I just walk around my neighborhood. The weather's getting better. I highly encourage everyone to go on walks if you're hurt, preferably daily. Get that sunlight in, that vitamin D. That's only beneficial for you. That'll get the joints moving, the blood moving in the areas that it hurts, and you will heal quicker. If you guys enjoyed this video, please give it a like. And if you guys want to see my full day of eating that I posted last week, please click over here.